All right. Welcome to Life Extension Live. It's great to see everybody. I'm Dr. Mike Smith, and I'm here with my co host, Dr. Crystal Gosser.
Hello, everyone.
Great as always to see you. Today's topic, getting healthier by keeping circadian rhythms in sync. That was a lot.
That's a lot. Yes.
Circadian rhythms. We're going to talk about what those are, why these rhythms are important, things that can disrupt them, right?
Yes.
And how we may be able to use nutrition
Yeah.
to get you back in sync and get some rhythm going again in your life.
I know.
So I like this description. What do you think about this? Circadian rhythms are basically like this ebb and flow, this up and down, this rhythmic movement of bodily functions, hormones, hearts,
Yes.
neurotransmitters, like
Right.
all of these things follow kind of this up and down, turn off rhythm, right?
I like that, Dr. Mike, because most people know there's the sleep-wake cycles. And that's kind of the number one thing that people think about when it comes to circadian rhythms. But everything in the body follows
Kind of
a
follows
rhythm.
follows the rhythm. So I always think of the circadian rhythm as something much more foundational to overall health than we think, right? Yeah.
Yes.
We how many shows have we done on stress management, chronic inflammation,
Supporting blood pressure.
hormones, right? All those things.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out those things are kind of grounded in a healthy circadian rhythm.
So true, Dr. Mike. This is an aha moment for me.
Oh,
It really is,
I
because
gave her an aha
when you-
moment, Robson.
it just, I think it helps the audience to connect a little bit better with the importance of this.
Yeah,
Really.
no,
Like if you look at blood pressure dips at night. That's a part of the circadian rhythm of your blood pressure.
Yeah.
And, people don't really associate it that way.
And we want to keep that rhythm.
Yes.
That's the key thing. Now, there are stuff that happens in our lives, even things we do to ourselves, that disrupts the normal ebb and flow of those kind of functions,
true.
right?
Yes.
And that can have a lot of bad effects in how you manage stress, cardiovascular health, how you sleep, and
Overall
restore
health.
overall health. Now, shift work, that's a
Yes.
crazy one. If you're somebody that has those crazy hours, boy, that's a big disruptor of
Yes.
circadian rhythms. Travel in general,
Yes.
both you and I,
Mhm.
pre-pandemic, we traveled a lot.
I know.
Hopefully we'll be able to start traveling again a little bit, right?
Yes.
But that disrupts. And then your favorite,
Daylight savings time.
I know.
And Dr.
It's
Mike
tough.
knows that it's a pet peeve of mine. I can't get with it. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I hate it. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
And because it's I think it's silly. I think there was a time, right? And everybody knows the story basically, right? With daylight say they were trying to save time when we were working in the farm. We were more agriculture,
Yes.
right? That's not the case
More
anymore.
daylight for the farmers.
Yes, that's just not necessary anymore. And I know that you have some stats from some pretty important groups that actually think by doing daylight saving time, it's like one of the worst things we can do to our circadian rhythm.
Very true. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine, they actually have an official position on this, and they highlight that, there's increased traffic fatalities, increased adverse medical events related to human error. So the nurses, the doctors don't have surgery during that time change. Schedule it maybe a month after.
Yeah.
Increased risk of stroke, hospital admissions.
Yeah.
So I know that, the daylight savings times of the year, or thank goodness we're back on standard time, but it makes us think about circadian rhythms and, what can help us to get back in balance.
My dog is all thrown off.
Oh,
Charlie.
Charlie.
He's a big old golden retriever, and he was pretty consistent in daylight saving time, getting up at about 6 in the morning, right? And that was kind of our time. That's when we got up. Well, he doesn't know the clocks went back.
6 is early.
I know we get up early. He gets up early. Dogs get up early. Anybody that has a dog knows what I'm talking about right now, right? They don't know we're changing time.
Right.
Right. And so he's getting up even earlier now. And so it's tough.
So you're not getting an extra hour.
I didn't get anything. I'm getting up early with a big dog.
Oh,
but I love him anyway.
Charlie's
so it's okay.
cute.
Oh, he is. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
I'll have to Robson remind me to get some pictures of Charlie.
Please.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to we'll get off our little soapbox.
Yes. So circadian rhythms.
I think everybody knows our position on daylight saving time. By the way, we're in the studio now, and we have Robson over there running everything, and Hannah. I shouldn't say everything. Hannah's doing some work too. Hi, Hannah. No, that's without them, none of this would happen.
That's right.
Yeah. So thank you guys. All right. So let's talk about okay. So circadian rhythms, ebb and flow of a lot of functions that are important. You even wrote down here digestion, energy, immune, strong muscles, and it goes on and on.
Yes,
and on.
yes. Your rhythm, and we'll get to this, Dr. Mike. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but it's the instructions for your cells to tell those cells,
right?
What to do.
Yeah. So describe then, Dr. Crystal, for us. You had mentioned clocks before.
Yes.
Tell us what you mean by that, clocks in the body.
Yes, you have the central clock in your brain that receives the light, because circadian rhythm is all about, the body needs to be in sync with the world around us, with our environment. So it all starts with the light coming in to the eyes, and it's controlling the central clock, and it tells us when it's time to, or tells the body when it's time to produce melatonin to help us sleep at night, and when it's time for melatonin production to decrease. That's that central clock.
It's in the brain.
Yeah. And then it communicates to our peripheral clocks. And those clocks are all throughout the body in your cells. And it's really their genes.
Yeah.
They call them clock genes.
Clock genes. So, but it's not. So the main clock is really kind of tied in to the sun coming up.
Right.
There's a change in hormones, right? Because I gotta get up now. I gotta get ready for my day.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have these clocks throughout the body that the main clock starts saying, okay, we're getting going now.
Yes.
You need to start doing this. You need to start doing that.
Yes.
You got to get pressure up.
A good way to think of it is kind of like cogs. So you have that main cog that's getting the signal from the light.
Yeah.
And once that cog starts spinning, then it starts trickling down.
Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about. I thought you said frogs.
Oh,
I get it. But now I see what you're describing. I get it now.
Right. So it's really helping to trickle down. And then now all of your clocks all throughout the body are all in sync.
Yeah. So, and there's that move, and it all started with that daylight.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That is pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. We should have had a picture of that, Robson. What are you doing? All right. So that again, we could go on and on about the rhythm, right?
Right.
And we talked about things that disrupt it. What I want to get into a little bit is how to kind of start rebalancing this. Now, here's an interesting point. If you're somebody that struggles with the change in time and you're feeling a little off, now that was what? It was a couple
of weeks ago, Dr. Mike. I'm still off.
You're still, and I think that's common. I think a lot of people are still a little, but that feeling of being off,
right,
is kind of what we're talking about. That's a sign of an imbalance in your circadian rhythm.
Exactly.
And so at times in your life, maybe you're traveling, shift work, or maybe you're just whatever, a stressful time.
Yeah.
If you're feeling that same feeling, your circadian balance is not there.
But let me tell you another sign. It's when you have tried strategies to get your blood pressure under control, to get your blood glucose under control. I just can't, I can't get my stress under control. All of these different things that we tend to target.
Yep.
If you're taking things and it seems that it's just not working,
right?
That's when you want to think.
You might want to think. So you may not feel something from the circadian rhythm,
right?
But something might be wrong in you. You're trying to fix it. You get a little better, but you just can't quite get there. That blood pressure just can't. It's not quite optimal. Is that kind of thing?
Yeah.
And that's where maybe you take a step back and you think about that foundation.
Yes.
That sugar management, blood pressure, hormones, stress management. Those are built on top of that circadian rhythm. So I think that's wonderful. So if that sounds familiar for you. If you're somebody struggling with blood pressure, struggling with sugar, you're following your doctor's order.
Yes.
You're even maybe trying some nutritional things, but you're just not there.
Yes. Even mental health.
Circadian rhythm.
Yes, because the rhythms control the production of brain chemicals and neurotransmitters. So yeah, it's a foundational approach to kind of reset your health.
Yeah. And of course, right now we're getting close to the holiday season. Which is really good. And so that is, it's fun, but then you know what? I have some things planned, and when I start thinking about it, I do get a little stressed. So it's good, but it's stressful.
Right.
I think that affects the circadian rhythm as well.
Oh, absolutely. Because when you start looking at the production of cortisol during the day and melatonin at night, and kind of the relationship that they have, kind of opposite, where the cortisol blocks the melatonin production and vice versa. Now you're starting to look into or see the connection with stress and the stress response.
I'm a little stressed out about my turkey.
Oh, Dr. Mike, I've heard your plan. You're going to be okay.
I've never tried this before. So I'm actually, for those of you who don't, I don't know. I'm going to wet brine my turkey this year. You guys know what that is, Robson? Put it in a bag for a day, but then I got this other brine I'm doing. I don't. It's just I'm a little. I don't know.
Try it with a small turkey.
It's too much work.
No, try it with the turkey breast.
I'm doing this once.
You can look. You all, please, in the chat, help Dr. Mike understand that you don't try new recipes for the first time.
Now you're making me more stressed.
People.
You're not helping right now.
No, you'll be fine.
Dr. Mike. But the point is I should think about my circadian balance right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And so let's get into how, so if somebody's listening to this, they may feel like they're out of balance a little bit. And let's be quite honest, if you're an aging adult in this country, given the environment we live in, the stress of family, work, whatever, holidays, you're probably off a little.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right? You're probably
it's the way of the world.
Yeah,
I mean, you know why you're probably off? Because of all the blue light.
That's a whole
coming in thing. From your phone.
Whole nother thing.
That's, I
mean, some people are watching this show, having blue light, right into their brain. Don't stop watching. we can
Whatever
help.
You do, don't do that.
There's a filter. Right? There's that,
right.
That filter on, right? Yeah. So let's get into how we can maybe help out here.
Well, I always talk about strategy number 1, take it back to nature.
Go camping. Now I gotta tell you, Robson's really excited right now. So Robson is an avid camper now, right? Now that you got that RV, he bought an RV. I think he's gonna retire pretty soon in that thing. You can see some pictures of all his trips he's made. You really have only had this for about a year or so, right? Yeah. And so you're going camping for Thanksgiving. Yeah. So anyways, go camp and get outside. I like that.
The camping, it aligns you. It sort of centers you and aligns you and grounds you with the world around you. Yeah. You can wake up at dawn.
It's nice
when the light comes in. Now, not glamping. I wanted to make sure.
No.
Camping.
Glamping is camping.
No, you need only natural light. That's my suggestion. Camping where your light's coming in from the sky. When the sun goes down, no more light, maybe fireside, and then you go to bed.
That. I do like that. Did you see how happy Robson looked in those pictures?
I know.
I noticed most of them were of him too. He has a whole family.
He's happy all the time.
He has a whole family. I think we saw one other person. I think it was all his wife. Saw the dog. That's great. Yeah. So go camping. I think that is actually a really good idea. Or just being outside more. Get that morning walk.
Yes. Open your curtains.
Yeah.
You see it on TV.
Let that light hit you in the face. Yeah.
Open those curtains. Go outside. Get the sunshine first thing in the morning. And if you can't do that, turn on the lights bright. That's one thing. It drives me nuts. But my husband, he turns on every light in the house. Yeah. And then I wake up and I'm just like flipping it off.
So that's the environment you're in can make a big difference. Get that early morning light is actually really important. That when the light hits your eyes, That's the brain clock, the main clock that says
Yes.
cortisol up, melatonin down.
Exactly.
That's how you get up and get moving. Now let's talk about the hormone that pretty much runs the central clock. And that's one you've all heard of, and it's melatonin, but we need to talk about it a little bit. It's extremely important to circadian rhythms, not just a good night's sleep.
Yes.
Right?
Right. And one stat that we have here, by the age of 20, there's an 80% decline in melatonin.
Yeah. Did we have a slide for that? No, we didn't have one.
No, we didn't have a slide, but it was just, it's a fact that it's not just something that you should consider only if you're having trouble. I think melatonin is one of those foundational
We just had this conversation.
Yes.
Right? I think you could make the argument, because there is a graph that I saw, right? So it has your age on the bottom and it's melatonin as you age. And it basically just dropped, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're in that 60, 70 age range, there's not a lot of melatonin going on, right?
Right.
There's not. But even if you are okay with that in terms of sleep, you could make the argument of taking a little bit of melatonin, maybe a milligram.
Yeah.
Maybe even half a milligram. And that could actually be beneficial for not just circadian rhythms, but hey, it's a great antioxidant for the brain.
Immune support.
Yeah.
Bone health.
It's a whole host of benefits using melatonin. So it's something you could even think about.
Yeah.
If sleep is not even an issue for you. I take, you take it daily?
I don't.
I take it. I've been taking melatonin every day. Gosh, yeah, I don't even know, years.
Let me clarify that. I don't take it like separately, because my husband takes 10 milligrams. I take it in a sleep formula.
10 milligrams.
Yes. So I take, so it's a small amount, but it's just enough to just kind of give me a little.
Okay. 10 milligrams is a lot. Let's tell come on.
Okay. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. Disclaimer.
If you're talking about someone who just needs it for circadian rhythm balance,
right.
I think you're in the 1 to 1.5 milligrams.
1.5 is great. I always suggest to look for a sustained release formula, one that can kind of help to deliver that melatonin for a few hours, 6-7 hours.
Yeah. And I do 3 milligrams, and that seems to be, but I do it for sleep too. So I'm doing a little bit more, but that's melatonin. It's basically, it's the fuel. It's the regulator. It's the conductor of the main clock.
Yes.
So you want more melatonin in your system basically as you get older.
Yes.
Now, there's one that you talk about a lot, ashwagandha.
Don't we love ashwagandha?
We've done shows on adaptogenic herbs, right?
Yes, yeah. And those adaptogenic herbs are, they just bring the body into balance.
I like
so
this.
Someone
I like the way you did that too. Just very nice.
Into balance. Yes. Ashwagandha, an adaptogenic herb, meaning that, the mechanism of action could be different in different people.
Yeah. Well, if we want to just high level, adaptogens like ashwagandha, they help cortisol behave right.
I like that. Yes.
Right? Yeah. Cortisol can get a little wacky, and that's when you feel wacky. But the adaptogens kind of keep that down a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
and there's other ones. There's other but it seems to be ashwagandha has more of the research, right, for sleep.
Well, for restorative sleep, meaning that and many people deal with this where they sleep in, I guess, in their minds. They probably had a good night's rest. Like they don't recall waking up throughout the night, but they wake up and they just still feel groggy.
If you're waking up, don't you think this is fair to say that if you're waking up and now everybody's a little groggy at first, like you give yourself a few minutes, right? I mean, come on, right? But at some point, 5, 10, 20 minutes, you should be moving.
Yes.
And if you're not, and if you feel like you want to go right back to bed, even though you didn't wake up during the night, you're probably not getting restorative sleep. You're probably not going through all the stages of sleep. And that's where these adaptogenic herbs can help.
Yes. And so we're seeing that ashwagandha, it's thought that, as you mentioned, that it just kind of manages cortisol, kind of keeps that cortisol down so that melatonin can do its job.
Yeah.
So that you can go through the sleep cycles. In research, ashwagandha improved the time, and there are actually four main parameters in research. And in one study with ashwagandha, it improved sleep onset latency. And what that means is it's the time it takes for you to go to bed from being fully awake.
And so for a lot of people, that could be a long time.
Yes.
And, I think, a lot for me, it was like this too. I had the racy brain, like thinking about the day, thinking about tomorrow. Did I do this? And so the racy brain, and I think the adaptogens, like they're good for keeping that raciness down.
They are, yes. And I can tell you firsthand, it works. It worked for me last night. So it also improved kind of that ratio of total sleep time to total time in bed. Again, it's about when you're in bed,
sleep efficiency.
Are you actually sleeping?
Yeah, they call that sleep efficiency.
Exactly.
Right?
And of course, it improves restorative sleep. That's how you feel when you wake up. Are you energized? Are you mentally alert? Are you rested? Are you in a good mood? Do you feel like you are able to take on the day? And that's something that we all want, right?
Or even if you have a big day coming up, maybe even a lot to do, but you do it with a smile.
Yes.
That's where adaptogens can help.
That's so true.
You do it with a smile. And then overall, by the way, I saw ashwagandha tea.
Oh,
I've never seen that before. There is now.
I wonder what that tastes like.
I don't know. Adaptogens are pretty bitter, but I don't think you're going to get enough from the tea though.
Probably not. No, because the ashwagandha in the research is standardized ashwagandha.
It has a lot more basically.
Yes, it has a lot more of the beneficial active components from that ashwagandha is kind of pulled out, and you're guaranteed to get an exact amount.
Yeah,
of
and I think in
beneficial components
in this tea, it was more like an herbal blend thing.
Oh, okay.
And so you don't even really know, but it did have ashwagandha on the front along with some other herbs. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Now you could have the tea, but I still think you need the capsule.
I have both.
All right. Now the last one is probably a nutrient. I don't think people have heard of this one.
Probably not. And that's nobilatin. It's an extract from citrus peel.
Yeah.
And that is specifically targeting those peripheral clocks, those clock genes. So it's helping the body to be in sync with the brain, which is then in sync with the world.
Could we call nobilatin a nutrigenomic type nutrient where it's helping those genes regulate better, turn on and off better?
Yes, Dr. Mike.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like I don't know some fancy words?
That was actually one of my research interests, was nutrigenomics.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, yes, and that's a new way of thinking about how the foods that we eat, the nutrients that we intake, how they can actually control genetic expression.
That's cool. I like that. So, at the end of the day, we want balance. And we need it. And that balance needs to be from when you first get up, throughout the functions of the day and your bodily functions throughout the day.
Yes.
And when you go to bed, right? There needs to be balance through that whole process. And things that can disrupt that are ultimately disrupting that rhythm, that circadian rhythm. So you really want to start thinking, especially during stressful times during life changes, holidays, really think about the circadian rhythms. And like you said, Dr. Crystal, if you're somebody who is being treated for something, sugar, blood pressure, whatever, and you just can't get to that right number, take a step back.
Yes.
And think circadian rhythm. Melatonin, ashwagandha, nobilatin, all of these things are good nutrients for a healthy circadian rhythm. By the way, we have don't we have an article?
Yes, we do. How to Get Better Sleep, a Helpful Guide.
There it is.
Yes.
It's at lifeextension.com. You didn't give the URL.
Lifeextension.com/better sleep.
They got to know where to go. /better sleep. Go check that out for much greater detail.
Yes.
Of everything we covered today. Dr. Crystal, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Dr. Mike.
And thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget, we go live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. We love it when you guys comment.
Yes.
We love it when you engage with us. Please like and share and get ready for next Wednesday when we go live again. I'm Dr. Mike. Thanks for watching.